In a moment we'll speak to a mother whose son came home from school with injuries after being restrained. But first, Breakfast's Jane McCubbin's been looking at the issue in schools across the UK.
At the start of 2019, we reported on the children with additional needs who'd been locked in isolation, physically restrained, sometimes injured. And we heard from families and charities fighting for much greater regulation in schools.
His feet were tied, his waist was tied, there was a table on there. All these methods of restraint, it's heartbreaking to know that they done that to him.
It's very easy to put someone in a chair and strap them in. They keep them, they make life a lot easier for the staff. But it's certainly that wasn't a good thing for Harry.
Schools might have to look after children with complex needs, or children like Harry who have no other way of communicating but by their behaviour. But Harry's family is represented by one of Northern Ireland's top human rights lawyers who argues restrictive practices are a breach of fundamental rights.
People overseeing children with very special needs, such as presented here, have a very difficult job to do. It's a demanding job, but that cannot be at the expense of the interests of the young child. In my view, the facts as presented here point clearly to a breach of the Human Rights Act.
The Department for Education in Northern Ireland told Breakfast, while reasonable force is allowed, schools should report incidents. However, there's no legal obligation to do so. This week, Scotland announced new guidance. It bans restraint and seclusion to discipline children and introduces a new data set to ensure consistent recording of incidents. The Welsh Government told us they too are consulting on measures to limit the use of restrictive practices. The Department for Education in England told Breakfast, we will always back head teachers on discipline, but restraint should only be used when absolutely necessary. Again, there's no legal obligation to report incidents. Campaigners say they will continue to fight on for that statutory change, not only to report incidents, but to end them.